I feel like in a lot of ways, like as you work, the bar just keeps getting raised. And like what was enough for you at one point and was like your dream or your goal, then all of a sudden it jumps and it jumps and it can keep jumping. So I think it's important to have gratitude for each time you get to do what you love and be really present when you get to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because we're so lucky to get to do what we love for a job, right? And I think it's important to have that perspective. If I attach my self-worth to booking, I'm a very unhappy person. I'm a lot happier when I just focus on doing it because I love it. Right. And like almost like, I think that you have to look at it like what we do is a hobby, not in the way that you don't take it seriously, but that you would do it even if you didn't get paid to do it.
Hey there, welcome back to the DNA Podcast. I am your host, Douglas Nyback. The DNA Podcast is where we go to learn what artists are made of, not just the insanely famous and successful millionaires who tell us that the moment they stopped caring is the moment that it all happened for them, but the people who are out there successful by any conceivable metric, but are still grinding, still in the trenches, the lessons of artists who are like freaking in it. I think that they're so important and the conversations are so interesting, and that's what this is all about. So today we have none other than Julia Tomasone. Julia is one of the leads on The Way Home, where she plays Delilah Watson. If you haven't seen the show, it's excellent. She also is one of the leads on Backstage. She's been working nonstop for a long time. She's a client of mine way back in the day. And then we ended up starting to work together again a couple of years ago, and she's freaking crushing it. She's crushing the game. She's also a producer and a creative, brings a tremendous amount of wisdom, presence, and respect for herself and for others in every interaction she has, which is going to be really on display here. She's also just such a uniquely talented actor. There's so much about the way that she works that I find captivating. And working with her is a dream because it forces me to be better as a coach in order to match her at her level, which is just, it's the best. So anyway, I'm a huge fan of Julia Tomasone. If you're new here, and you, at the end of this thing, feel like this was valuable to you and you liked it, please click like and subscribe, follow us, favorite. If you really like it, tell all your friends. That's super helpful. We've got a couple of sponsors today. Othership, which is a sonical plunge wellness facility in Toronto and New York. It does contrast therapy, which is super cool. I get into that later, as well as Fancy Face, which is a Toronto-based makeup company run by Brittany Gray. Brittany Gray is a client and friend of mine who has spent 20 years building a makeup and skin wellness brand geared toward dancers, artists, actors, and creatives. And her expertise is like profound and the products are incredible. So I'm a big fan of hers, and that's why we're jamming here. More about her in the episode. Custom links, all that kind of stuff down in the doobly doo below, but that'll be a problem for future us. For now, let's get into this episode with the one and only Julia Tomasone. So, is it Tomasone or Tomasone?
Tomasone.
Julia Tomasone. Hi.
Hi.
Things that I should have known after having worked with you for close to a decade, or probably maybe even a little more. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we've been trying to get you for a hot sec, and schedules just haven't quite aligned. And I gotta say, I hadn't worked with you. I worked with you a bunch when you were a teen. Yeah. Then I hadn't worked with you for a big chunk of time. And then about a year and a half, 2 years ago, you started coaching with me again. Yeah. And then booked a pretty big gig. For me, it's always really exciting to see somebody who you're so talented and obviously worked a ton as a youth, and then to see you grow into yourself and see the evolution of that talent and see how hard you're working now and how you're constantly growing. For me, that I always feel so grateful to have that unique perspective on people, and I'm just so, I'm gonna say proud, but it's not I'm
no, I appreciate
but I'm
that.
Proud of your growth as an actor. It's quite something.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I started training with you a decade ago.
Yeah.
Which is, crazy to say out loud.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel old.
But then you're somehow still helping me tape for 17-year-olds.
Which is so weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Because are you on The Way Home? Are you a teen?
Well, I start out as 17,
right.
And then, in season 4, we jump timelines, and I'm older. That's all I can say, really, at this point. But
is season 4 out now, or it's out soon?
No, it comes out April 19th, but they just dropped season 1 to 3 on Netflix in the US.
And you guys are crushing it.
Thank you.
Aren't you guys like number 3 right now on Netflix?
I don't know what we are today, but we've been in the top 10 for like about a week, which
Look
was
at
pretty
you.
exciting.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
And who knew? I mean, like when we did that tape like so long ago, I mean, I thought it was just going to be like a 1 or 2 episode guest star, and then it became like this much bigger thing, and I'm so grateful for it to have the work.
Yeah, I was thinking about this as I was getting ready for this pod. The like how you can just do a tape and then your entire life can actually change. And it's such a, like I say this as a coach, like especially to actors who are struggling. I'm like, guys, like you don't understand. Like you can walk out of a room or you can send a tape and you have no idea.
So true.
But it's really cool because I like believe that, and I've seen enough objective proof of it, but it's like it's still so magical to me to think about. And how has the process been shooting it? Because like we didn't, like you're right, we didn't know how big it was going to be, we didn't know how long it was going to go, we didn't know. And how has the process of like it growing, like did the production know out of the gate how much this was going to be a part of the show, or was this something that's like?
That's a good question. I don't know. So I mean, when we first taped it, also, I think that I thought there was no chance in hell that I was going to book that. Right. I mean, Andie MacDowell is like iconic. She's got like the gorgeous curly hair, the brown eyes, and I was like, you know, on paper, I was like, well, I don't look anything like this actress. Like I didn't see it at the time. Right. And so I think that like there was a lot of practicing that law of detachment. And in a sense, I think almost like that always helps me when I audition.
Sure.
And then initially on paper, it was just supposed to be like a guest star for a few episodes. Right. And then season 3, I did 9 episodes. And then this season, I think I did, maybe I can't say. I don't know.
Sure.
But yeah, so I was in Ottawa at the time. I was shooting like a horror movie, and I was like playing like a psychopath. We had chem reads, and I remember that day I was like covered in blood. I like did not know if I was gonna make it to the Zoom chem read, and I like made it with like minutes to spare, and I like, you know, wiped off like everything. And I remember like the feeling at the chem read was just, with Jordan, who played Colton, there was like a flow state that we reached on the call, and it was just my favorite audition process that I've ever had. And at that point, I didn't know what it was going to become, but then as the scripts kept coming, I was like, oh, okay, another episode. And I really didn't expect to be back in season 4. And then when we got the call about it, I was like, yes.
Yeah. That's so cool. I'm always fascinated when actors talk about flow state. Yeah. So, because everybody has a different like definition of what it means to them. Like for me, I often call it like, oh, I'm in the pocket.
Right.
But that's just because that's what we said back when I was young, back in my day. So I'm curious, when you talk about flow state, like what does that mean to you? Like what does that feel like? What's the experience of it?
I think when I'm not thinking about the work, when the work is just happening, I think you can really reach flow state doing anything creative, right? So I feel like I can reach flow state when I'm like on a really good run and I'm like not thinking about the kilometers, because I really enjoy running. When I'm, you know, cooking, when I'm painting, when I'm writing, and I think just totally detaching like the mental component, and it's just like really embodied. Right. And connected.
That's it's cool that you say embodied, because one of the things, just having worked with you so much, like you're, and I say this I think in almost every coaching, where I'm like, you're so smart, and your brain wants to do so much heavy lifting. That so much of the work ends up becoming about embodying, like letting those two work.
Totally.
Like, because it's like you have two superpowers, right? Like your embodied self and this like mind that's so strong. And I feel like most of our work with you is like getting those two things working in tandem.
Totally.
Do you find that easier to do on set, or is that something that like is like it's
It is. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why, you know, the law of detachment when I'm auditioning, in a sense, works so well, because I feel.
Talk to me about that. I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I think when I'm not so fixated on booking the job and I'm just playing, and that like childlike self is coming out, that's when I do my best work, and that's when I feel like I can embody a character the best, when I get out of my head and into my body and I'm just playing.
Right. Cool. That's great. It's interesting that you say childlike. Hey. I've been thinking about that a lot. I had a bunch of people asking questions about like auditioning, because like to me, something that's so important within auditioning is to connect. That radiator is going to go. It's fine. Is like connecting to a human being, and so much of the audition process has been like there's so many people just acting to spots on the wall right now in their auditions. And
I miss in person. I miss in person so bad.
I feel like those of us that came up doing it really miss it.
Yeah.
And I think those who didn't come up auditioning in person, the idea of doing all of your auditions in person is like terrifying.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like hard enough. Like tapes are hard enough.
I think I would be a bit nervous almost to jump back into in person, but in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love in person for director producer sessions.
Oh yeah.
Like to me, that's like that. Like all director producer sessions, I think should be in person.
I agree.
Like where you're actually testing chemistry and you're like it's collaborative. Like.
But I will say it's wild to see what kind of chemistry can come off of Zoom.
Yeah.
Like, it can all be there, and it's mind blowing.
Agreed. And it's interesting because I coach a lot of folks on Zoom, and it's like, yeah, like it's like partly because we're really conditioned to it now,
Right.
but yeah, you can really connect. And like, and I feel like pretty like low inhibition on Zoom, because it's like, I'm there, but I'm not there. So you might as well say like, we ball. Like it's like it's real, but it's not real, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas like when you're in the room, I'm like, oh, I can make a like a complete fool of myself in this room. But like on Zoom, I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting. So you began acting pretty young, right?
I did.
Can you talk to me, like, because it's funny because like I feel as though in a lot of ways I know you. This is one of the reasons why I started the podcast, because I'm like I know all these people, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why I've been most excited to get you on, is because I want the juicy deets of your life.
Okay.
But I'm curious, how did you start? How did you get into this crazy biz?
Yeah. Well, I think that I got into acting for my own safety in a lot of ways.
Ooh, say more.
Yeah.
What a great podcast answer.
Yeah.
Please allow me to pull that thread.
I was an extremely social kid, like social butterfly. My mom always jokes about how I would quite literally like try to walk off with strangers in the mall and like grab their hand, be like, can I tell you a story? In the elevator, like, do you want to play Barbies with me? Like, I just loved connecting with people, storytelling, like singing and dancing in front of my family, was obsessed with musicals.
You
and
were
then my
abducted
mom's
8
like,
times before you were 12.
yeah, my parents were like, we got to get this kid an outlet, like a hobby, like otherwise this is going to be dangerous. So
Right.
I think that's where that started. And then I got an agent when I was 3 years old.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was really little. And
Whoa.
my first audition was like a Pediasure commercial
Okay.
with Gloria Mann. And I booked it.
Yeah.
Gloria Mann walks out of the room and she said something along the lines of, your daughter is a ham, to my mom. And they're like, okay. And so from there, I mean, you know, I think that I did lots of theater, musical theater, and I just fell in love with it.
So you sing?
I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you like soprano, alto?
I'm like a mezzo soprano.
That's a soprano. All right.
How
there
about you
go.
sing, right?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you?
baritone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duet,
Man.
little duet.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like a heart full of love from Les Mis now.
But I took a break pretty early. It's weird to say, like I had a hiatus when I was like 6 years old, but I stopped because I was a patient at Sick Kids Hospital.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Not where I thought that was going to go.
No.
I was going to make a joke about Dickensian London and child, labor laws. Okay,
Well.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I was a patient at Sick Kids. They are like an amazing hospital. I have so much love for them. But I had on my throat, I had like a cyst that would grow to the size of a golf ball. And they later called that a bronchial anomaly.
Okay.
So it was kind of an intense recovery process for that. And then I stopped acting as a result of that. And again, like I felt like I didn't have that creative outlook. Like I couldn't sing.
Right.
I was really tired. And then so I started creative writing.
Okay.
And I wrote a short story when I was in the hospital.
Okay.
And I called
You
it.
were 6.
Yes, I was 6. And I called it I Can Be Anything. And it was a story about a little girl that goes on a dress-up adventure. And she like tries different things on out of her chest. like I'm a princess, I'm a superhero, I'm a baker, I'm a pirate. And at the end of the story, she realizes that she just wants to be herself, and that's good enough. And it's so wild, right? Because it's like, that's me at
so
6 years
wise.
old. And I was like, I need to hear that now more than ever. And I need to like feel that now. And so I go back to that short story that I wrote and published. And that ended up...
Sorry, I'm sorry. You published it? At what age?
I was six.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I assume your parents probably helped with the publishing process.
My mom did, yes.
Okay, that's nice.
She was
Okay,
amazing.
right.
Yeah. I wanted to create like a fundraiser for the hospital because, I mean, what they do there is just incredible, and I really wanted to give back. And so I wrote the short story, and I told my mom I want to do some fundraising, and she was like, "What if you publish it?" And so it became this thing, and I'm really grateful for that experience.
There's so much I didn't know about you, Julia Tomasone. Okay, that's amazing. So was it a cancerous thing? Was it a...
They were worried that it was going to like turn. I don't think it ended up being, but they needed to remove it in case.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all good now.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was pretty early on, and then I got back into acting when I was like 12-ish. It was kind of like a false start. I was going to like an art school. My heart wasn't really into it.
Where'd you go?
I went to Baythorn, which was an arts elementary school where you learn the curriculum through the arts, which was like amazing, like geometry with dance, and like we did like, you know, historic plays, and it was just a really cool way for my artistic brain to learn. And then I went to an arts high school as well in the drama program, which I loved. And then when I was in grade 11, I was like, okay, like I want to choose this for me, and do this for real. And so like I applied to some different agencies, and and then I signed with an agent. And
you were how old then?
I was 16.
16, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then
what was the high school you were going to?
The high school was St. Elizabeth.
Okay, cool, nice,
Yeah.
great, cool. I'm just curious. Like I'm always like fascinated on where people went. So you went to so you got signed, and that was, were you one of Norbert's?
I was.
Yeah. So you were with Norbert's.
Yeah.
And was that around the time that I met you?
No, you would have met me. So I was on his roster for a few months, and then I got Backstage, and you would have met me after season 1 of Backstage.
Right.
Matthew Eisen and I were in your class.
Yes.
Like in between seasons.
Right. And in Backstage, you played like mean girl as a character. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like I've seen some TikToks about that, which is really funny.
Oh my goodness.
Which is so funny because you're like not, like you're so, like, not only are you kind, but you are someone who is just so respectful. Like you're respectful of others, like their space, their like autonomy, who they, like it just like you have always struck me as someone, certainly like since I have gotten to know you as a grown-ass woman, as somebody who's like, I am who I am, and there's room for everyone around me, and it doesn't affect who I am.
That's a really nice compliment.
Well, it's good. I mean, I could just be like projecting, but it's great. And so it's like that mean girl archetype. It's funny because it's just like so removed from how I view you.
That was really, that was like my first really substantial role.
Yeah.
And I remember, well, so it was like at first like a tape, and then they jumped to in person, and they had me go out for like, you know, the super nice, like insecure, more introverted character. Right. And they booked me off of that. Like I never auditioned for Bianca, the character I played on Backstage. And I remember being like, oh my God, like what kind of energy am I giving off? Like how did they see that in me? Because I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
Like what? And so, I mean, I had never really auditioned for that specific character, and that was just like a direct offer for that. And I remember being a little bit confused about that at that time, like why casting could see her and me. But I honestly, like, she was so fun to play. She was so fun to play. And like Backstage was like such a great launch pad for me, and like boot camp in a lot of ways. Right. In terms of like acting experience and
how many seasons did you guys get?
We did 2 seasons, nice. 30 episodes per season.
Whoa.
We shot 30 episodes in 30 days, like each year. So I was filming summer of grade 11 and summer of grade 12. And we were block shooting 4 episodes at a time, A and a B unit every day.
Whoa.
And so like, in a sense, nothing really scares me anymore in terms of
Yeah.
like how fast something's gonna shoot. I mean, everything scares me, but also nothing scares me,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, I feel this in a lot of ways, the idea that like plenty scares me and I'm capable of handling it,
Yes.
which I think are two things that walk hand in hand. Like,
And it's better if it scares you.
I find there's like a little gremlin that lives in me that's like, I fucking like crave that. Like I crave the like, this scares me, this is going to be hard, this is like, I don't know if I can, put me in. Like, it's like I feel like I'm at my best in those situations.
Yeah.
Is that something that like...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you always had that? Published author at 6 years old?
I mean, no, I think that in a lot of ways in my younger years, I really lacked confidence.
Okay.
And like every single project that I did, I always had the thought like, oh my God, I love this. Like I'm in my purpose, like nothing makes me happier, but also what if this is the last time? What if I never work again?
Right.
Every single time that I finished a project. And I mean, I don't know if it was like a lack of belief that I was like good at what I did so much as I think I was like very hyper aware at a young age of it's all fleeting and it's not enough to be good. You have to be excellent and then some, and then there's luck, and then there's like all these other factors. So yeah.
Which is true.
Yes.
Right. So does that fear, like you're talking about that fear as though it's a past tense thing, like that idea of like you finish a gig and you're like, am I ever going to work again? Is that a fear that still exists within you, or is it?
For sure. I mean, it's a little bit quieter, but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that just like practicing gratitude is the most important thing. And also being a little bit delusional is important. I'm big on that.
Do you mind saying more about both of those? Because I'm fascinated by people's gratitude practices.
Yes.
This is a big part of my life too.
Right.
Now, like since I stopped drinking, like it used to be bourbon and now gratitude is a little bit of a healthier way to put it a little. And then that idea of, sorry, it was gratitude practice, and then it was
being delusional.
Being delusional. Okay,
Yes.
so talk to me about your gratitude practice, and then we can get into the Delulu stuff because I freaking love that.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I always go back to the inner child.
Okay.
And honoring her, making her proud. And I feel like in a lot of ways, like as you work, the bar just keeps getting raised. And like what was enough for you at one point and was like your dream or your goal, then all of a sudden it jumps and it jumps and it can keep jumping. So I think it's important to have gratitude for each time you get to do what you love and be really present when you get to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because we're so lucky to get to do what we love for a job, right? And I think it's important to have that perspective and not be all woe is me when we're not booking. Also because I think that like that gratitude's important for me, because if I attach my self-worth to booking, I'm a very unhappy person. I'm a lot happier when I just focus on doing it because I love it. Right. And like almost like I think that you have to look at it like what we do is a hobby, not in the way that you don't take it seriously, but that you would do it even if you didn't get paid to do it, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think is I think about it a lot. Maybe just because inflation is out of control, but I'm like, what would happen if I won the lottery? And I'm like, I don't think my life.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
I think I'd go on a vacation.
You have to say charity.
Oh man. Maybe I just don't care about other people enough. Yeah, no, I would for sure do charity. Internet, charity for sure. This parachute is a knapsack. I don't think my life would change that much. Like because I, for the most part, spend my days doing what I love to do. Like it's what I want to do. So I get that. Right. That idea of I'd be doing it anyway. Like it's like I do it for the love of it. Is that something that you arrived at as like a grown-up, or is it something that you arrived at when you were like a teen? Because I didn't get into professionally acting until I was like an adult. Right. So I'm fascinated by like when these things
I think you start with
manifest.
Like I think that when I was like a little kid performing in front of my family, or you know doing musicals, or like early days in the film industry, I did it for the love of it. Like when I found out I booked Backstage, I remember my agent calling me, and I was like, what's Backstage? Like, I forgot, because like every time I had an audition, I was just so excited to act. I wasn't thinking of like, it's this network or it's that, right? So I think in a lot of ways, you start at that point early in your career, which just for the love of it, like you just want to play. You just want to be able to tell a story.
Well, also like your parents didn't force you into it. They
Yeah.
were like, right? Like, which is great. Like,
and then I think that you lose that along the way at a certain point, or you can. And I feel like I did at one point where I started to really attach my self-worth with when I was booking. And when I wasn't booking, I didn't feel like I was successful or, you know, had something to offer. And then I think I had to realize that I am a full person and I have this, you know, full life, and other things make me happy outside of acting. You know, I'm a good daughter. I'm a good sister, granddaughter, friend, partner. And I think that, that perspective is important to me. And anytime I feel like I lose track of that, I feel like I try to go back to little Julia and like, am I living my life in a way that would make her proud?
That's great.
Yeah.
To consider that like most like pure and imaginative and like uncorrupted by cynicism version of you. Like that's such a lovely touchstone.
I find my way back to her sometimes in a lot of ways, but I feel like I act to heal that inner child. That's why I do this in a lot of ways.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. All right, y'all, I want to take a hot sec to talk about Fancy Face and Brittany Gray. Brittany Gray is an actor who has been at this for a really long time. She was actually like a client of mine years and years and years ago, like when I first started coaching. And she went and she built this whole thing. She created this this makeup brand. She does custom consultations. The products she has created are incredible. She's local Toronto. Supporting her was an absolute no-brainer because the product is amazing. She is amazing. What she's building is amazing. And we're going to be doing future collaborations with her where we're going to be giving away like makeup looks. Like essentially you go to her and she'll build your ideal self-tape look, all sorts of cool stuff. So that's all in the future. She's really cool. She's also given us an amazing 20% off of all of her products and services using the code DNA Pod. Links are in the description down below. I highly recommend you chat with Brittany and her team and dive into her world because man, it's cool. She's cool. And now we're going to get back to the show. So that gratitude side of things is like one that's a really beautiful touchstone. For me, gratitude tends to like live in prayer. Like simple things, like I go for a walk with my dog in the morning and I like live next to a church and I always just like say good morning to God, you know, and I say thank you for like the things that are around me, like what the weather is that day.
Right.
Fact, you know, like, and
have you always had that?
I have done it, I think, almost my whole life, but it wasn't until I got sober that God, like I started to hear like the voice back. You know, I probably heard the voice back when I was younger, but there was a period of like mid 20s to mid 30s where like almost end of 30s that I was like taking the edge off of my life too much to, I think, really be open to hearing that, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, for sure.
Fascinating noises that this space makes. This happened with the other day. It goes away.
What is that? Is it like a lawnmower?
I think it's the radiators. It's just like, I don't know. It's bizarre.
Like whenever I hear like random noises that I can't pinpoint, I always think of that the radio show when they're like, "What is the noise?" And you can win like, I don't know, like $10,000 or whatever it is, or
for sure. Yeah.
I don't think I'd be good at that.
I certainly have never. I've never been like, I know what that is. I mean, in my entire life, have I ever won.
That's definitely not a lawnmower. Like
no, lawnmower adjacent. It's like the world's tiniest lawnmower. And that like increasingly, I think increasingly I've gotten an awareness of like I've lived enough to know that like a lot of life is suffering. Like not in a pessimistic kind of way, but it's like I do think that life is the game of, hey, choose the suffering that you want, because everything is going to involve.
There's duality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're choosing the suffering, like I did not choose a stable life, like in this industry, right? But, and with that has come a tremendous amount of suffering. And now I'm like, well, this is the suffering I want. So I'm not a victim of the suffering, right?
Yes.
And same thing with like relationships and friendships and like things that like I enter into with my eyes open, being like, well, this can very much cause me suffering, and
The best things do.
It is the suffering that I've chosen.
Yes.
So again, it's like plenty of people have hurt me, but I think my mindset around it now is much more rooted in like if I'm in a position where I can choose my own suffering, like that's incredibly great. There's a lot of gratitude around that. Which is like I had that clarity in my life, and my life is not. I am not, because there are people who I think you're a kite in a hurricane, like, and for your entire life, and then you die. You know, like that hasn't happened to me. I haven't, like, you know, when Germany didn't invade France while I was 18. You know, like I have been able to, you know, not have to go, and like there's so many things that my life has never felt truly out of my control, not truly. And when bad shit has happened to me, or when the chickens have come home to roost, like it's because of that their choices that I made. And it's like, well, that's the suffering that I chose. I just didn't realize I was choosing it. And I find that kind of mindset is around, like is rooted in gratitude, which is like, it's all rooted in the, like, I have the fucking privilege to choose. And like, not privilege in like a buzzwordy internet way, internet, you know, because like everybody's like, hey, you got privilege. Like, whatever. We don't live in a third world country. We are all part of the 1%. But like, in just like for sure. Yeah, like I'm really grateful for that.
And two things can exist at the same time, right? Yes. Like, so something that's coming to mind is my grandfather always told me, Julia, life is beautiful and life is miserable. Mm-hmm. It's both. And I would always be like, you're so negative. What do you mean life's miserable? Life's not miserable. It's beautiful. And I understand that sentiment so much more now as an adult. And I think that
is it your grandpa you said?
Yeah.
He's like, spend a day in my knees.
Yeah. Oh, he was such a champion of my career. He was amazing.
That. I love that. So I love hearing like your gratitude practice, and I'm always grateful for a chance to speak about mine.
I think that's beautiful.
Thanks, that's nice.
Yeah.
Look at us being as grateful as we can. And I also fail at it too. Like there's plenty of days where I'm just like, everything's terrible.
Oh, for sure. Like when you get those close calls and you're like,
oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, like I'm not, it's not like I'm the Buddha here, but I'm trying. And I'm curious, you talked about being like a little delusional.
Oh, you have to be.
Just say more about that, because that's fascinating to me.
Okay, so this industry is brutal, right? Like any way you cut it, I mean, I love it. Mm-hmm. But like if there was anything else that I love just as much, like I would stop tomorrow. Right. But I can't. Like I just like, it's a part of me. And I think that you know, we talked before about it not being enough just to be a good actor. Mm-hmm. And I think that the self-belief component is massive, right? Mm-hmm. You have to believe in yourself like 10x what anybody, 10x, you have to believe in yourself 10x what anybody else does.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that in order to come anywhere close to your dreams, you have to be a little bit delusional in pursuit of your dream.
So that belief in oneself.
Yeah. Like even on the hard days. I think that's the key thing.
So how did that, like, how did you cultivate that in your life? Because that's, I think a lot of people go their entire lives, like from birth to 6 feet under, having never experienced that.
I think the gratitude goes hand in hand with that. So the more I'm grateful, the easier it is to be delusional in the way that I feel like I could achieve what I want to achieve. Believing in myself, I mean, I think there's good days and bad days with it, but I think it's just you have to bunker down even more on the really hard days.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it like a knowing thing? Like you simply know you are capable? Or even like the concept of exceptional? Because here's the thing, and this is like, it's a very un-Canadian way to look at oneself.
Right.
And I don't want to put you into a position where you're like feeling like you're just like bigging yourself up if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I know you, and I know you to be an exceptional actor.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, like, I got references. Like, I know what I'm talking about. and like, you're really good at it. And you are very unique. That concept of exceptional, like, when did you know? Like, because to choose to believe in yourself, like a little bit of evidence has to be has to be present. Because sorry, and I'll preface this by saying I have a hard time with this myself personally, because there are a lot of days where I'm like, I'm not even convinced I'm passable at anything that I do, and I just do it anyway because like I can't do math. Like, so it's like I got like
I'm
one
so
path
bad
at
at
this
math.
point. Yeah, you know, and so for me, it's just like on those days, I don't know if I believe in myself. I just keep my head down and grind.
Right.
But I'm curious. I'm just maybe starting at like 40 to start being like, oh no, like I actually do genuinely believe in myself. But it's been a journey.
So, okay, can I ask you a question?
Please, yeah, hit me. Love it.
On days where it's really hard,
Yeah.
and you're struggling with that self-belief,
Yeah.
like is there like the tiniest like part of you that still believes? Like what keeps you going?
Wow, that's a great question. I am supposed to be the one who's driving the ship of this podcast. I guess if I'm being really honest, it's like the light so far has never gone out.
Yeah.
Not fully in me.
And I think that's what it is for me too, right? Like even if the light gets pretty dim, like it's still there.
Yeah.
And then I know it can grow, and I just tend the fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not like, you know, I think also it's like for me, I have no interest of like being a star or, you know, like I am not interested in the celebrity part of this business.
Right.
Like if I could delete all my social media, I would do it tomorrow.
Right. You're so good at it though. You guys seem like you have a great time.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I think it's fun when you're, you know, making posts with castmates for sure. But it's, I mean, like I wish I could delete it tomorrow at the same time.
Sure,
right?
yeah, I get that.
But I think going back to that, like I would do it if like nobody was watching, right? And like I know that what I have is unique, and you know, my empathy, different parts of my personality. There's only one me, so somebody will be looking for that at some point. You just have to hang on to that and believe that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Well, here and this is the thing. Like I love it. I love hearing actors talk because you're talking about it like you just have to believe that. You just have to believe that. And like one of the things that I am really lucky in the position that I'm in as a coach and as like, you know, there's a person who's created a podcast and stuff. Is like, I'm like, no, you
So good
don't.
at podcasts.
Thank you. But it's like you say, you have to believe that. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like you do. And that's like an exceptional thing. And I find there's so many actors and artists. I don't think this happens with
What do you mean? No,
stockbrokers.
you don't.
Like at no point in time is it a prerequisite to always believe in yourself. To take like you used this image, which it almost made me cry when you said it. Am I talking about it? There are days where you just have to tend the fire, but no, you don't. Oof. Like you do. And this is the thing that I love so much about having these conversations. It's just like, well, what an inspirational thing to be told. Like that exists, and that's something that I can aspire to. You know, like I'm 40 years old, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, like that's so incredible. Like, and this happens to me that like with clients and with people that I know, and sometimes watching, you know, other podcasts and things like that, interviews, is it's like, do you know Sean Benson?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So Sean has been sober for a long time, right? Like he's very public about it. And I had the good fortune to have him on the pod. I had never really talked to Sean, not really. And I got sober, and I thought about Sean so much because Sean was doing it.
Right.
And it wasn't until like I'd been sober for like, I think it was almost 1,000 days or 800 days when I had him on the podcast. And it was like, where I actually got to tell him like, dude, like your existence removed from me ever interacting with you in any way, like kept me going.
Wow.
And this is the thing where it's like, I'm like, the fact that you do tend your fire in those dark moments, like that's aspirational. Not in an artificially inflating your ego kind of way, but it's like we're so quick to dismiss that which is exceptional in us. But to keep the fire going in the middle of like a tempest, in the middle of a period of your life where everything else is darkness, like you got to find wood. That takes a lot. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think it's great. And actors always say this. They're like, well, when you got to do this. I'm like, no, most people
It's
don't.
such a hard question. Like, why do you believe in yourself? I mean, it leaves me like rambling and a little bit speechless. And like that visual was all that was coming to mind.
It's such a good visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels so true.
But I think that we all have like that like survivor in us, right? We've all been through different things in our lives, and what we've chosen to do for a profession is so hard that for me at least, I need to have that self-belief to keep me going. Because for me, it's like about, evidence somehow at some points, right? Like, okay, like, do I have evidence that, this is a viable career?
Yeah.
But then, let's just say you don't work for a period of time and that evidence is not really there. Like, you really have to lean on that, like that little ember.
I agree. Are you, this is reminding me of, do either of you guys have a phone kicking around that you can pull up? Can you just Google "Stronger at the Broken Places," Ernest Hemingway? This is the first time that we've really pulled in other people into. I'm changing the way the podcast is formed. It's probably my favorite quote from any Hemingway novel, and it's from. Thank you so much. I think it's from A Farewell to Arms. So he says, "The world breaks everyone, and afterwards many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the very brave impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry." So like when you talk about the tending the fire, it's like, to me, that's like allowing the world to break you and knowing that immediately you can become stronger at the broken places.
Yes.
Like, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Delilah. Appreciate you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's so cool. Just the perspective that you have on yourself. I feel like I'm harping on it, but it's like
no.
inspiring
I mean, I think that like any experience that hurts you will only help you give love and express love tenfold.
Agreed.
Right? And I think that really helps you as an actor.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful way to look at life. Hot damn. Okay. Wow. How? Because you produce and you create.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big part of your life. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
So how? Talk to me about that part of your world, like the process of producing and what you choose to produce, and are you writing? And I'm just curious, like, what's going on in your world?
I think I love helping people make their passion projects. Mm-hmm. I love seeing someone get excited about something, and it's like really like when you're early days with the script, like that's somebody's baby, right? And it's like you have to really trust them to be like, hey, can you hold my baby?
Yeah, yes.
And I think that kind of thing just lights me up. And I think that producing, writing, casting, like all these different parts of the industry, the more you can get your hands in everything, you're gonna also become a better actor. So I think my first love will always be acting. Yeah. But I've loved to dabble in some different things. I think for me next, I'd love to direct.
Cool.
And I do write. I write all the time. I think I can be a bit of a perfectionist. Sure. And I think it's something that I've had to unlearn in my acting work. Yeah. So I think in the same way I need to do that with my writing. And I think for me, everything I write is like really personal. Right. And I think that's difficult sometimes for me, right? Because when it's personal, it's like I feel like I'm spilling my guts out, right? Yeah. Yeah. I get that. That's why I love genre, because I can make it as personal as I want to, but I can like wrap it in the cloak of genre. Yes, that. Yeah. I feel like everything I write tends to be more on the dramatic side. Mm-hmm. But I can see that. Yeah. I feel like a lot of your auditions, it's like you come in wanting to do the indie drama version of it. Yes, yes. It's like sometimes it's not that, Julia. Sometimes it's just like a happy day. Like it's so funny. That's cool. How did you get started in production? So during COVID, a producer, Avi Federgreen, he mentored me for a bit.
Nice.
And he had
Avi's
this
such a
project,
staple. Yeah.
Home Free, come up, and I fell in love with the script. It like made me bawl my eyes out, and I was like, I want to be part of this in any way I can. Right. And so I got to help him produce that project, which was really exciting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then did you create your own company? Wasn't it Bella Vita?
Yeah, I did.
That's cool.
And so, I mean, I think it's just early days, but there's a lot that I hope to do with that in the future.
That's really exciting. That's super exciting. And what is creatively lighting you up right now? Because you're on a show, you know, and that's a really beautiful thing. And it's also like, I'm always fascinated by people who are like actually getting to do what they want and love. Like I feel very grateful to be on a show right now, and I'm always like, ooh, what's gonna light me up next?
Yeah, I need to see it. I'm excited to see it. Your show, yeah. I love that question though. What's lighting me up right now? Well, I hopped back in class recently.
Great.
There's no cameras in the room.
Nice.
Which I love.
Sure.
Right? Because I feel like early days in my training, it was like always a camera in the room. And, you know, I mean, the technical piece is so important, but I feel like I really love there not being a camera in the room and just getting to play and to connect and to not be worried about, you know, the aesthetics of it all. So that's been really inspiring me, and really just like watching other people in class. Yeah. I think that that's the best thing for me. And I mean, plays inspire me, reading inspires me. I'm reading Viola Davis's memoir right now, Finding Me, and it's amazing.
Cool. Is the class you're in, is it theater based or is it film and TV training?
No, I mean, it's just a scene study class.
Cool, great.
Yeah.
That's cool. If there's like a genre or a type of show, like if you could choose, like what, I guess like what scares you, but also you would be like, because there are shows that I watch where I'm like, oh God, that terrifies me, but I would love to do that. Is there anything like that right now for you that's like?
Well, I mean, I think like something like The White Lotus like terrifies me.
Sure.
You know, and I think there's something in that. You know, I think that something that would make me really uncomfortable actually would probably be the best thing for me.
Right.
Yeah. So that. Not necessarily specifically The White Lotus, but something in that world intrigues me.
Right.
You know, and just someone that's like really, you know, morally complex.
Right.
That isn't really necessarily like a good person on paper.
Yeah.
For me, it's not necessarily the project, it's the character and just who that person is.
Do you find that a lot of the characters that you've played have been kind of like derivative of your own personality?
In the beginning, no.
Right.
Right.
Because Mean Girl on Backstage.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a time where I was like, am I going to get like trapped in that world forever of like, you know, like the teen drama? And now, I mean, I feel like it's pretty mixed. But I mean, I feel like there's a lot of like, you know, bubbly characters that I go out for. If anything, like I feel like I'm hungry to play, you know, someone that is a little darker in nature. Because I think that, sometimes I don't necessarily get the opportunity to really explore those kinds of characters.
So yeah, like I'm always fascinated, like I would say all of my clients, like, I'm like, oh, this is a really good person. and also like, I don't know anybody's life. This is one of those things too, like I find increasingly as I've gotten older, I'm like, even the moniker of is a good person is like such a weird and limiting thing. Like, cause the longer I've lived life, the more I have learned that like, I have been hurt and I will hurt and have hurt others. And there's like no way around that. In every instance where harm has been done to me, I don't think anybody ever actually wanted to hurt me. And yet I have been hurt by people a lot. And same thing in situations where I have hurt others. It's like, well, I never intended to do that. And
you've been to therapy.
Anyway. Yeah. Oh God. That was
Yeah. No, that's something that you have to learn though, right? Because it's
sure.
really easy to be like, well, this person hurt me and, you know, did this to me. And it's never like just one thing. Like there's so many layers to, you know.
Yeah. And I find that has like one, I've taken the expectation and pressure off of people in my life to like represent some kind of like moral thing, but I have had a very hard time taking myself off of that cross because I always feel like I should be better, and in any situation where I haven't been, I like punish myself 1,000-fold. And
Same.
Yeah,
same.
it's not fun.
No,
I don't love it.
no.
Trying to be better at it. But all this to say, going into this, like the pursuit of darkness as an actor, like what about that lights you up? Okay, I'm going to take a hot sec here and talk about the partnership we have going on with Othership, which is a super cool place. I mentioned them in the intro. I do genuinely go to Othership every Friday. I got sober a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, hot damn. And going there has replaced going to the bar for me. It's a really cool social place. I quite love the process of the sauna and the cold plunge. I enjoy doing hard things, and there's something about the experience that really resonates with me, and it resonates with a lot of actors that I know. So if you're into the wellness journey and all that stuff, you can check out our partnership with them. With the code Douglas Nyback, you can get 11% off all of your classes and packs. There's also a 2-for-1 deal if you're a first timer. So you get 2 passes for the price of 1, which is super excellent. You can use for yourself or for a guest. The links are in the description down below. And you can also get 1 month free of the Breathwork app, which I use very often. Anyway, I quite like these things. And that's why we're partnering with them, because I friggin' enjoy Othership. And I think it genuinely makes my life better, and I think it'll make your life better. So check it out. If you feel so inclined. Now let's get back to the show. Appreciate you. We were talking about darkness. We had to reset the cameras right after I was like, let's get dark. But I'm always fascinated by like, because I love to play dark characters. I love it. It's my best favorite. And so I'm curious, what about that side of your personality? Like tell me what the draw is. And here's the thing, like you don't have to be like, well, like, I just really like to hurt people. Like, you know. Like,
I really love true crime.
Yeah.
I think that I've just been always really curious. I mean, nobody's born bad. Right? You come into this world innocent, and I mean, you know, your early childhood programming has like a massive impact on like who you are as a person and the way you navigate your life as an adult.
Right.
And understanding like how people become jaded or make questionable decisions, like that makes me tick. Like there's something about that just is really interesting to me.
Right.
Like the behavioral psychology of it all.
Right.
I just like, something about that is really interesting to me, and I just would like to dig deeper into what that is.
And you feel as though, and this is maybe a bit of a leading question, but like because I'm always like as an actor, I'm always fascinated by like art in general. So every altruistic action is one side of a coin. Right. Like I hold the door open for an old lady.
Yeah.
I do genuinely want to hold that door open for that person.
That makes you feel good.
Makes me feel good. And more than that, I want everybody to see me doing it and be like, what a nice guy. And I certainly, in my like 20s and early 30s before therapy, I started going to therapy when I was 34, which didn't like magically turn me into a great person, but it like began the journey into what I think is making me a better person. Imagine you just go and you're like, this is sweet. This is really easy. But I used to really crave and cultivate the idea of like, oh, I'm such a great guy. Like I loved it. And then all that did was like, ignore the fact that there was a lot of darkness in cultivating that image. And then like I feel like I became a little poisoned by that darkness, if I'm being really honest about it.
It's like a mic drop. Like I felt that.
It's fascinating, right? Like, sorry, I'm not trying to fuck up your shit either.
No,
I'm like talking about myself. But and
it's so true though.
Yeah.
I think it's like an identity thing, right? I think I did that too for a long time. It's like
Yeah, and in all of the situations where I think I did the most damage to people, there were the periods of my life where I felt like I had to protect my image of being an altruistic person more. Like it's just like it's wild, the hindsight of like age and perspective.
Yeah.
And when it comes to cultivating dark characters, I always find that so fascinating. That idea of like, I don't subscribe to the never judge your characters. Like at the end of the day, you're fulfilling a story
No.
like purpose.
But find their humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like we are all capable of anything.
Yeah.
Which is like the craziest.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about like where you're at, because you have this show, this like, and do you know if you're gonna go again? Is that so? You probably can't even
We're not.
talk about it.
It was canceled.
Oh,
it
no.
was. But I'm really excited for what's next. I don't know what that is, but I am excited, and I feel. You know what? For the first time in a long time, I don't feel like that feeling of dread that I talked about before, where it's like, what if I never work again? Like, for some reason, that voice isn't there. I'm not gonna like look into that too much, but it's not there, so that's good. But yeah.
So, okay, that's really cool. You said you're not going to look into that, but of course this is a podcast and I'm interviewing you, so I'm going to ask, like, because I don't like, I want to respect that you don't want to hyperanalyze that, but I'm curious, like, how does that feel? Like, how is that? Like, is that liberating? Is it?
For sure, it's very, yeah. I think I'm rediscovering joy in the work in a really big way recently.
Cool. Say more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also a lot of my process in the last few years, like I was really big on substitution and, like using things in my personal life that could really take the story further and really build out that character in a really felt way. And I think that lately I've been just trying to use my own empathy a lot more. And that's created some freedom in the work.
By your own empathy, what do you mean?
I think that I'm just letting scripts move me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I don't have to directly relate to it so much, and it can be just as powerful these days. And I feel like in the past, maybe I felt that my best work only came when I could really, really relate to the character or the circumstance. And I feel like I've just been having more fun lately and using my own empathy in a way that is just like serving me more. Yeah.
So this is something that I find so fascinating, and because the concept of substitution and the concept of like the as if, right? For the actors out there whom are new, this being like, I have to cry in the scene, so I'm going to like think about the loss. So not just think about, but like embody and try to put yourself back in the situation. In this case, I'll use the example of like my grandmother dying, like, which happened a long time ago. And but I was real sad. Yeah. And this was the first thing that I was taught from an emotional standpoint in theater school.
Me too. Yeah, like I didn't go to theater school, but and I think that's why so much of your process is like tied to that.
Yes. Yeah. And I think a fundamental failing of substitution as a concept when it's taught is that it's an excellent concept. It's an excellent technique to teach you what you contain. But it reaches a point of diminishing returns pretty quickly in that it's taking a square peg and trying to put it into a round hole, because your experience is not the experience of the character in the story. Yeah. And at an advanced level, it starts to reach a point of diminishing returns faster, because you, as I'll use you as the guinea pig here, but it's like you contain so much, like from an emotional standpoint.
Yeah.
And it's everything, at least like when I'm working with you emotionally, it's like it's all about trust that the parts of you that relate to this story are going to flood in if the container of the story is clear, like liquid into an ice cube tray. And I think that's where fundamentally actors go into auditions and scenes and they're like, I need to make this something that I understand, as opposed to I need to understand that I have never experienced this.
Exactly.
And that's the whole point. Do the thing you've never done.
And it's so much more fun when you're not having to just like, oh, sorry, the mic is right there.
Oh yeah, no, go, that's great, impactful. We ride.
But like, I just feel like that's why I've been having more fun.
Yeah, it's because like it's all exploration. It's not dragging with you the burdens of your past.
Right.
It's understanding that like those things have made you. They're available. Those are keys on your piano. The piano is forged.
Like that sense memory is like so important. To the
Yeah.
work. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like, you know, I was rewatching like Bree's out of town. So I'm like, I have so much time on my hand and I'm bored. So I'm rewatching the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame.
Love it.
You know, and I was like, I remember when Marvel was so good. And it's like, I don't relate to Captain America battling Thanos,
yeah.
but I'm like, it's just, he's never gonna give up. He could do this all day.
Yeah.
You know, and like the act of her, like that doesn't directly relate to anything in my life. I went to theater school,
No.
you know, but there is a part of me that understands the act of bravery, the act of heroism, of sacrifice, of you know, and those things in whatever ways I have expressed them, immediately fled into a story that I have total buy-in, you know, and I think at an advanced level, and it's been really cool seeing your work do this, because The Way Home was one of the first things that you and I coached when you started coming back to me.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. We had like a few tapes that like, when I started working with you, I was like, every tape that we were doing, it was like sent to producers, hold this. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep working with Doug.
Nice.
This is great.
Please allow me a moment to just dab on my haters. But you're very easy to work with. And I feel like the vast majority of it was just, lady, you gotta trust. Like you gotta trust that it's there.
Right.
Like you don't have to muscle it. You know, it's so available to you, and particularly your emotional instrument. Like your emotional instrument is gigantic. Like
Very sensitive.
Yeah, the emotional reservoir that you contain is like deep, and all we have to do is get it moving and then point it at something. Yeah. Yeah. Have you always been really sensitive?
Yes. And I used to, I think, I used to really look at my sensitivity and like how deeply I felt as a weakness.
Yeah.
For like a very long time. And I had to unlearn that. And I had to be like, no, this is a gift, specifically in the career that I've chosen. Yeah, but I think the world will tell you that that is a problem and that is weakness. But I don't think it is anymore.
So this is something that like, I don't think I have ever worked with an actor that doesn't carry baggage around their relationship with their sensitivity. And it's funny because like it manifests in very different ways. Like for I have found traditionally for like men versus women for the most part, internet, don't come at me. God. It's like society has punished it because it's like too much, or it's too like it's a really easy way to dismiss somebody when they become emotional about something. Whereas like dudes, it's like, well, we're just gonna beat it out of you. Right. Different problems.
Yeah.
But
it's so true.
And they manifest in different ways later on. Yeah. And I find almost every actor that I work with, there's like a point of reconciliation where it's like in every job, being hugely emotionally sensitive, like I don't think it's particularly. You work at Morgan Stanley and you're like swapping people's mortgages and foreclosing on houses.
For a doctor,
being sensitive isn't particularly useful. Like
True.
My best friend's a cardiac surgeon, and like
Whoa.
He's like to a degree, it's like he's a mechanic. Like it's just valves, pistons and valves, man, and that's like the way he has to look at it. Because if he looks at it through like the truly empathetic standpoint, then it's like. You're paralyzed because you're like elbows deep in someone's chest cavity.
I could never be a doctor. I'm so afraid of blood.
It is wild.
Ooh.
Like it's hard enough to be a doctor.
I'm watching
on
The
TV.
Pit right now, and I'm like, oh my god, like it's so hard to watch, but I love it.
Are you watching season 2?
I'm just the end of season 1.
Nice, love it.
Yeah,
That's the show that if I could choose anything. But I have a client on season 2.
Well, hopefully we both get on that. But
let's do it. Let's freaking go. But like in a lot of professions, that kind of empathy, like it's not useful. But which is why like so many sociopaths are CEOs, right? But for us, it's like as useful as an accountant's ability to do math. Like it's so important. It's everything. And like I've been fortunate enough to watch so many people, yourself included, start to be like, this thing that I have labeled as wrong or has been labeled as wrong. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, this is a superpower. And how liberating is it?
It really is. Like, it's just like my whole body just like, I felt it, like even when you just said it, just like I felt like I could exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I had to learn that it was a strength to free me in the work. Because I think that I had this like voice in my head, like when you use the phrase like, you don't have to like muscle it.
Yes.
I felt like a lot of how I grew up, like I felt like I had to like muscle it, like in terms of like being tough always, like not being sensitive, just be tough, just be strong.
Right.
In so many areas, right? Just be positive, just be bubbly. And I think a lot of that's, being a woman, but maybe it's like a personal thing as well, and things I've been through in my life.
There's like a biological survival mechanism at play there, which is like be less threatening because like, violence can happen. Like that's like an evolutionary trait. It makes sense.
And then you can like shut parts of yourself off though when you do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is not helpful to you as an actor and your instrument, right? No. So I think that's why it's important to really understand that that's not a weakness and it's a strength, and to nurture that part of yourself.
Yeah, I think about one, I agree completely, and two, it's like the burden of a fully felt life, because with actors, generally when they start working with me, they're dealing with some measure of like internal friction between their true self and the story, right? Like that at its base, it makes sense, right? And it's like they want to be able to be open with themselves and with their emotional process and with all of this stuff, and they're like, but only when the cameras are rolling. And I'm like, I'm sorry, when the lights are on and the cameras are on and the entire mechanism of a movie is pointed at you, your body is doing everything it can to shut down, because that's a survival situation.
Yeah, we don't want to see your defense mechanisms.
Yeah, you have to practice this in life.
Yes.
It's easier out there. And you can't expect yourself to be shut down in your existence. And then like when it's like the Olympics, like, okay, I've never run before even one time, but I somehow got on the Olympics and now it's time to run really, really fast and be world class at it. It's like, no. Like it is a fully felt life. Like you are entering into a career that necessitates a fully felt life. And that is suffering that you choose. Like, cause there's a lot of shit out there to feel that most people just aren't feeling. Yeah,
they don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, Bree's always looking at me and Bree is living a fully felt life too, but maybe I'm just like soft as baby shit. Like, like we'll be watching something that is not sad, and I'll just be like people will just be vaguely nice to each other on a TV show, and I'll be like, and she's always like, "Aw, honey." Yeah.
Well, kindness, like seeing raw kindness, like is to me what moves me the most, right? Like,
yeah, me too. Yeah, hot damn. Would you say that that's something that you pursue, the idea of living your life more fully in that way, and like experiencing your feelings out there in the world, not just when the lights are on?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you decided to choose that?
When I decided to choose what exactly?
Like to like walk the walk in life.
When I started therapy, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking how old you were when you got into the therapy game? I'm not going to be like, and then tell me about therapy. Your personal life is your personal life.
I started therapy like later than I think I should have. It was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but I think it's like the best thing for actors. I think that like that's like getting to know yourself better.
Yeah.
And understanding, why you react to certain things the way you do, and understanding your defense mechanisms. Just understanding yourself better will make you a better actor and a better person. So I think then, around the time that I started therapy. Nice.
That's great. The thing, like therapy has dramatically changed the way that I coach people for a lot of reasons. Like, I mean, I was coached by a bunch of like hardcore musical theater people who were like, I never met a feeling I didn't want to destroy, who were like, I was at my mom's funeral and I was like, use it. I'm like, oh, this is terrible advice. Why would you teach me this? But like back when I was like 18, 19, I was like, that's gold. I too am going to shut myself down that I may observe my emotions. But it caused me to not consider the emotions of others, because like if you're diminishing emotions within yourself, then it's like, of course, you're going to diminish the emotions of others. And therapy has taught me among many things, like one, to always consider the emotions of others without taking responsibility for them. Because like, here's the thing, everybody's a fucking grown-ass person and your feelings are not my responsibility. It's therapy 101. But it's changed the way I coach because the universality of the human experience has made it so that I generally don't talk about what I think you should go through. I talk about what I have gone through that is similar. And then usually, like 9.9 times out of 10, the actor's like, oh yeah, no, totally. And then I don't need to know the information that they're going through or that they relate to. All that matters is the moment of like, I get that, great, cool, go, do it. Like, it's just like opening up to that part of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I don't think I have a game with this thread. Thank God it's a podcast and not like fucking prime time. But it's changed the way I work as a performer, as a person, as a coach. And I think that concept of a fully felt life is just so useful. I'm so glad you found it. And like way younger than I did. I know you're like, I should have been in this earlier. Like, but you're getting after it. It's great.
I think that, why we're, why we love a film, an actor, a performance is we love being exposed to something that makes us feel understood. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is connected to an actor that really knows themselves or really melts into, the character and becomes one with them.
Yeah.
And therapy helps that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It totally does. It totally does. We do have to start kind of bringing this thing into land.
Yeah. I could talk all day.
I know, me too. This has been such a, like, I feel so grateful to be able to get a little more access to you, like to be able to like know you a little better. Like what a delight. That's another thing that I think about with this podcast is like, not everybody gets to know people. And like, I think you're episode 37 and that's like 37 people I've gotten to know a little better. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Me too. Nice. And congratulations, because what you're building is really beautiful.
That's nice.
Really beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks. Oh, that makes me feel real good. Makes me feel like, that's great.
And it's inspiring too. It's like, I feel like you don't get to have these conversations every day, right?
Yeah.
It becomes so much about, the auditions and you can be like a hamster on a wheel sometimes.
Yeah, life never stops handing you problems to solve.
Yeah.
And the brain loves to solve problems, and like an intimacy and problem solving don't always walk hand in hand. Like not intimacy like romantic intimacy, but like intimacy of like getting to really fucking know somebody and be present and have a conversation.
Yes.
That question that I tend to end on is if you could go back in time and give it one piece of advice to like just starting out Julia. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3-year-old you, because that might be like eat broccoli. Yeah. But like just, a version of you that's starting out. Well, what advice would you give? It can be 3-year-old you if you want.
It's funny because I feel like I actually think about that quite a lot. I feel pretty tethered to like my 17-year-old self, my, my child self that just like fell in love with performing. I think first and foremost, I would tell her that her sensitivity, her vulnerability, how deeply she feels is not weakness.
Yeah.
It is strength. And to just be present in life and just live life fully, to experience it all, the good, the bad, to ride the roller coaster with a smile on your face.
Right.
And not to compare herself so much to others. To recognize that she has something unique and special that she doesn't need to hide, or she doesn't need to pretend to be someone she's not. And that being open is beautiful. And that it's it can feel ugly at times because it's like, oh my God, everything's out here. But that's the stuff that's really going to create magic.
Right.
And to follow the magic, I guess.
Ooh, good advice. So many wonderful.
And be delusional.
Yeah, be a little delulu. Yeah, you gotta be. I'm so grateful that the path that you have lived thus far has, allowed me to like weave in and out of your life a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that like it wove me in today. So thank you for taking this time, and I appreciate you very much, and it means a lot to me to be able to get to know you a little bit better. Like you're a really beautiful soul, and it's cool. So thanks.
I appreciate it too. Thank you.
Look at us. Cool.
Yay!
Nice. This is great. Here we are. I'm glad it's you, audience, here at the end of all things. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you found this as friggin' inspiring and wonderful and heartfelt and present and grounded and interesting as I did. This one was really lovely because I've known Julia for a long time, and to get to know her in this way was just like really, really, I find myself more and more grateful the more of these conversations I have on this podcast, that I get to be in a position to get to know these folks and to help you get to know them more. She's great. You're great. Appreciate you being here. If you haven't, please like, subscribe, do all those things that really, really help. They do. We're trying to build this thing, grow this thing, put it out in the world. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. Follow us across socials at Nyback Act. These things don't build themselves, guys. And if you're here, listen, even if all you are is here for this one friggin' time, it means the world to me that you're here, and I really appreciate it. And if you want to come back, give us a little follow. And I want to hear from you too. It's super cool. All right, anyway, that's that. I got a lot of gratitude for you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Go be people.